Welcome back to Gridbusters. I'm really pleased to be back. I took a little short break from the channel, but I'm back now, raring to go. We've got a couple of projects to get going on, one of which is what's behind me. So behind me I've got 30 solar panels, and the idea of these panels is to finish off the installation on the barn, and we're going to be taking down the 8-panel array, which you can see here, and replacing it with 3 10-panel arrays, so the 8 panels we're taking down, those are going to go on the back of the house to get the evening sun, and then we've got the 30 panels to go back up on the barn there to replace the 8 panels. So let's go into the plant room and let's start work, because the first thing we need to do is install the new Victron charge controller, which I've got. We've got to mount that to the wall, and then we've got some cabling to do. Okay, so before we install any solar panels, what I want to do is get all of the cabling done, and we're also going to need another charge controller. So at the moment I've got 2 of these Victron RS450-100s, which are absolutely brilliant. They're working absolutely perfectly. However, they can only do 2 strings each unit. So we've got 4 strings of solar panels at the moment, so that's why we've got 2 charge controllers. So I've purchased a 3rd charge controller, and that's going to go on the other side of the inverter over here. So I'm going to mount that on the wall over here. I've also got another Victron Lynx power in, which is basically just the bus bar. So that's going to go, not sure if you can see that. Yes, I think you can. That's going to go there. So we're going to have to hook that up there so that we can install the charge controller here. So I will be in future installing maybe another charge controller as well, or I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I'm either going to install a 4th charge controller, or get the next model up from this, which can do 4 strings, because we are thinking about putting some extra solar panels on the roof of the house here at the back of the house to get the evening sun, which is something we're probably going to do in a few months' time. So the first thing I need to do is to get this MDF backer board mounted up on the wall. So I need to put some battens on the wall, get that piece of wood cut to exactly the right shape, get a hole cut in it, router around the edges to make it nice and smooth, mount it on the wall, paint it black, and then we've got something to mount the charge controller to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some battens on the wall like this, going along here and then down, so that I can screw my piece of MDF to it. Now, the actual charge controllers themselves are actually quite light. They're not very heavy, so I don't need a backer board quite as strong as this. I already have some thin MDF in stock, so I'm just going to use what I've got. So that is kind of how it's going to go, something like that. Yeah, so that's obviously it'll be painted black as well, and then we can put the other charge controller there. Okay, so I've got a ton of this quite large timber left over from when we did the roof of the barn. So it's been sitting here in the workshop for the best part of 6 months. So I thought rather than go out and buy some new timber for the backer board, I'll just use what I've got and cut it down using my new circular saw bench. This is the new Evolution saw bench. Massive improvement on the last one. The last one almost kind of self-destructed, actually. The blade almost came off it, and the fence was never accurate. This new generation of Evolution table saws, really good, really pleased with it. The big improvement I have found is the fence is very accurate, because it has a rack and pinion system for the fence. So yeah, really good. Yeah, it's not a sponsored video or anything. I bought it with my own money. Right, so let's get this cut down to size. Okay, so I've got my battens all done for the back of the board. Got a slot there for the solar cables to go through, and then just need to screw that now to the wall. There we go. So I think we've got a batten here. I will just double check that in a second. If so, we can put a good monster screw in there, and I think that's going to be fine for there. Right, so here we go. It's been really useful having these access panels. If I was doing this again, these access panels, I would make them out of plywood, and that's something I might do in the future. It's just the MDF. By the time you've taken these panels off and replaced them several times, the screw holes start getting mushed up because it is MDF. So it would be better to have a more durable wood. Right, yeah, so we've got a, does that go up? Yes, it does actually. We've got a double batten going all the way up there, which is great. We've got nothing here. So we'll put wall plugs in there, but that will be a solid fixing point, and so will that. So hot in here, this plant room. Even though it's September, it's still very hot. It's about 25 out there today. So it's a hot September, and we've had about 10 kilowatts on the solar today. So that really does heat up the plant room. We've only actually needed to use the air conditioning once or twice this summer, but normally I just crack the window open in here and that's enough to ventilate the room. But today I don't have the aircon on. I don't see the point. It's not really hot enough, but just working in a warm room is hard work. Board will go on here. Okay, here we go. We've got a Victron Smart Solar Charge Controller. So this is what we connect the solar panels to, and then this piece of equipment will then charge our batteries and also give us power which the inverter can use for the house. Great thing about the Victron equipment is it's a little bit more expensive, but it's much more robust than a lot of other equipment. It's actually got a 5-year guarantee. And it's not uncommon to see yachts which use Victron equipment where they've been using it for 20 years. I've seen yachts before where they've had Victron equipment on the yacht for like 15, 20 years and it's still going. And because it's primarily built for marine environments, it's they laminate all the boards. It's very robust, very reliable, and it's made in Europe, which is really nice. Well, it's a European company. I'm not sure if it's actually made in Europe, but it's made to a very, very high spec, which for me was important. I'd much rather spend a little bit more money on something that's actually going to last me 20 years than buy something really cheap that's going to break within 5 years. So yeah, this is a long-term project for me. So having the 5-year guarantee, really important. So what do we get? Let's have a look. So there we go. So we've got our manual there, and we've got our mounting bracket. So we're going to need to actually use the mounting bracket in a minute actually. So let's just have a quick look at that. Here we go. So that we're going to be screwing to our piece of MDF in a minute. So let's just put that over here. And then we've got our main charge controller here. Oh, very blue. Here we go. So that's the charge controller there. So yeah, so we can do 2 strings of panels. I can do 20 panels on that, And yeah, so let's get it mounted up. So this is going to go somewhere around there. I'm going to have to measure it because I want it to be the same as the other charge controllers, but somewhere around there, I think. Something like that. Obviously I've got to paint the board black, but yeah, that's where it's going to go. Right, so I'm just using the laser level here to get everything level. So I'm just lined up on the white line there of the inverter. So the inverter has a white line across it, and the charge controllers both have white lines across. So I've lined the laser level up all the way there, and then we've got it going all the way across, just so that we can make sure everything is straight and at exactly the same level. So this is the mounting bracket to put on the wall. Now I need to make sure I get this lined up with the other inverters on the wall. So what I'm going to do is I've put this in the back of the charge controller here, and I've just drawn a pencil line on the back of the charge controller, and just going to extend that over to the end here. And I've already drawn a line along the side here, and then I've extended that line to the front here, and what I can see is it's about 4 millimeters. Let's just measure that. How much is that? Call it 5 mil. So it's 5 millimeters above this white line on the front of this charge controller. Now, when I use the laser level on the wall, I lined up the laser level with the white line on the other charge controllers on the other side of the inverter, on the other side of the room, because I want this charge controller to sit at exactly the same height. So I can see this white line is 5 millimeters below my mounting point. So all I need to do is, where's my mounting bracket? Here we go. Is mount this, the bottom of this mounting bracket needs to be 5 millimeters higher than the laser level line on the wall. So I just need to measure, if I can actually see the measurements here, 5 millimeters. Dear me, my eyes aren't great. By the way, next week I'm having laser eye therapy on my eyes. I'm having LASIK eye surgery. They're going to laser one of my eyes and give me something they call blended vision, which will mean I will never need to wear eyeglasses, which is great. Because I've got to that time of life where I need eyeglasses, and I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. I hate wearing glasses. So yeah, they're going to laser one of my eyes, so my left eye will be used for close-up and my right eye will be used for long distance. So doing stuff like this, hopefully, in a few weeks' time, will be much easier. Probably by the time you see the next video, I'll have it done. A little bit nervous about having it done, but it does mean that doing jobs like this will be much easier in the future. So I'm just going to draw another line there. Right, and I've just put the wrong, I've measured it the wrong way round. Right, okay, there we go. That's a good start, isn't it? There you go, you're getting mistakes and all today. And then I'll just draw a line across here, and that's where I'm going to screw the mounting bracket to. And we've got 3 lines there, which isn't confusing, of course, is it? So it's going to go, there we go, something like that. Now these charge controllers are not heavy, so they're very light, so it's absolutely fine on a backer board like this. So yeah, I think that's good. Right, let's just put this up temporarily so I can make sure I've got everything in the right place. There we go. Now I've only got one screw in the middle at the moment, so it does move around a little bit, but I just wanted to know, yeah, that's correct, where I was going to, so I need to cut a couple of holes in the wood there. So we're going to need one set of holes for the solar cables and then one set of holes for the 48 volt battery cables. So I think I'm going to do round holes this time rather than one big oblong hole. I think that kind of makes more sense. So something like that. Yeah, I think that will work. So if I went along here, I think that will work. So this is where the charge controller is actually going to screw into. It doesn't have much weight, but I've just found this bit of scrap wood in the workshop, so I thought I might as well use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount this piece of pine here to the back of this piece of MDF, just to give the screws a little bit extra to bite into, because I noticed that the screws, when I screwed them in, weren't biting on much. It's quite a thin piece of wood. So since I've got this piece of wood, we might as well screw it to the back. So let's just cut that down. So really it just needs to be held here temporarily until the screws from the other side bite in. So I'm just going to use some of this quick set glue I've got here. So this is ideal for these sort of circumstances. It's a bit like super glue, but it's a two-part adhesive. You've got an activator and the main glue. So there we go, that will just dry in seconds. Perfect. And now I just need to put in the bracket. And then that will go there. So the solar cables, the earthing cable, and I'll put the data cables will go through here. And then here are the 48 volt battery cables will go through there. So I'm happy with how that's all looking. Yeah, that all looks good. And when we have another charge controller for the roof of this house, it will actually be a much smaller charge controller than this. It'll be like half the size. So I could put it above this breaker panel here, or I could even put it below here. I think I'll probably put it up there when we do the final charge controller. But yeah, happy with how that all looks. Right, well, I'm happy how that's turned out. In the next video, we're going to be crimping up these cables here, getting some ends on them and getting them to the exact right height. And then we're also going to be connecting, where is it? We're also going to be connecting this other power in unit here, which will be connected here where the cables will terminate. So that's going to go in the next video. We're also going to get the earthing cable connected. We'll get the network communications link installed, and we'll also get the solar cables installed, as well as another solar combiner box. So that's all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the videos, guys. Let me know what kind of content you guys would like, and I'll create it. We've got quite a few videos coming up installing the solar panels and a bunch of other interesting projects which will be revealed in the next video. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there and catch you next time.